I wanted to show our netting structure that we're using to protect our dahlias from cucumber beetles. So this was a very DIY project. We basically knew that we needed to create sort of mini tunnels for the dahlias. In the past, we've had issues where the netting touching the dahlias, it creates a burn on the petals. So we knew that we needed the structure to be large enough that the plants weren't going to be pressing against it. Also, we decided that any of the dahlias that were in the structures would be planted in a single file to avoid the sort of width of the zigzag planting that we're doing in our other ones. So what we've landed on, and this is after 2 years of experimentation, but I think this whole situation could always use more experimentation as well. But for now, we feel pretty good about this. So we're using T-posts, and then this is PEX hosing. So you can actually buy this in large rolls, I think 250-foot rolls, or at our local hardware store you can find 10-foot pieces. So we cut we cut the PEX to size to make a nice arc. We've attached it with hose clamps, which you can kind of see in here. There's the hose clamps. And then we've made a sort of a purloin type structure, because in a typical tunnel, in order to have the hoops not sway side to side, there needs to be some kind of horizontal piece that sort of holds them together and stakes them to the ground. So what we've done is we drilled a hole in each of the PEX hoops at the very center, and we've just threaded baling twine through. And then, so the baling twine goes all the way along the whole piece. And what that does too is it helps the net not sag in the center. And then the baling twine is secured down here to, these are some mini little posts. They're sort of like T-posts, but you could really use anything, piece of rebar, anything even just a stake in the ground. Basically, we want something where this purloin is secured on either end of the row. And then, we're using these clamps as our ways of securing the net onto the T-posts. And so, you can see that we're clamping the net together down here on the mini stake, and then we're clamping generally on every T-post. Some of them are missing some, but the idea is we just want a basic coverage. We know that it's not going to be perfect, we have to lift them to harvest, but it does a good enough job to get us through.